Alright, welcome to the first episode of what I think we're going to be calling This Week in Monstercat, though I really actually have no idea. But I've got two people on the show, as well as myself. We've got Pete, say hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Xavier, say hello.
Hi.
Shit, I'm going to be
enthusiastic already.
Oh, yeah, mate. No, I'm probably going to be coughing a lot today because I'm sick as a dog, but that's fine. So, the first thing I reckon we'll be doing, just to start this off, because this is the first episode and you probably have no clue who we are, we're just going to give you a little bit of context, just for you guys, about what we like in music, our favourite tracks, and that sort of stuff. So, we'll start off with me. And my favourite songs on Monstercat are, they're pretty all over the shop. There's Victory by San Holo, Timberwolf by Muzzy, Act 3 by 7 Minutes Dead. What else is there? There was Error Code by Case in Point there for a while, but that's been replaced by Skyline. And the last one is Mountain Hunter by Fractal. I generally, when it comes to music, I just love music being complex and music having a lot of layers and changing, that sort of stuff. What about you, Pete?
I can echo a lot of the same stuff when it comes to music. Should be complex and stuff like that, and should always be doing different stuff. I haven't put down any particular songs for the things I like, but typically more the genres and artists that I tend to lean towards. So, I really like genres like Complextro, because, as I said, I really like complex kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
So what,
Glitch
like
Hop
Stonebank, sort of?
Yeah, a lot of Stonebank, like Moving On and
Yep.
and Blast from the Past and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As well
sick.
as Glitch Hop. Any Glitch Hop gets me down pretty good. And
yeah.
And
Sorry.
breaks is always a good thing, even if some people don't seem to know when things are breaks. Cough, cough. Mika. And
I know all about it, mate.
And DMB, I think we can all get down with some good DMB.
Yeah, DMB's friggin' amazing. Oh yeah, DMB. Just in case you didn't know, I'm pretty sure I brought it up before in some of my early reviews, but DMB is my favorite. I love it. It's great. And Xavier, tell us.
I don't like indie dance, and that's about it.
That is true.
That's
Yeah,
seriously
indie
about
dance
it.
can
I
be
like
pretty shit.
fucking everything from drum and bass to bass house to some other shit. Just not indie dance, really. It's just indie dance is gross.
Can you think of your favorite tracks? Like Atlantic?
Like half of Stephen Hawking's releases, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we all...
Easy
Stephen
enough.
Hawking would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Xavier's pretty damn biased towards Stephen Walker.
Yeah.
But,
Nah,
I think
Just
we
a
all
little.
have our own little biases.
Well, when he releases tracks like Wake Up the Houses Underwater, it's pretty fair enough. But I thought we might just have a little talk about how long we've been listening to Monstercat and when and why we started. I'll start off. I started in, I reckon it would have been 2014. It was when 7 was just coming out that I first heard a Monstercat song, and it was, I would have been 12 at the time, which is fitting because I found it on on my 12 dubstep days. I found it on an LEA Videos intro, who, if you didn't know, is a Call of Duty YouTuber, so that's pretty fitting. It was disconnected by the Pegboard Nerds, and I listened to that, and I was like, hey, this is alright. And then I saw the next video that it was suggesting, and that was The Other Day by Insane Like, and I fell in love with that shit. It was so good. But then I never listened to Monstercat again for like a year.
More than.
Yeah, but then it would have been when was year 8? Year 8 would have been
2014.
2014.
2014. It would have been 2014 that I properly got into it, because that was when I met Pete, and he was already in 17.
The OG
right?
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
17. That was my first year.
And you showed me a lot of stuff like Itvara. I remember listening to that a lot because it's very good. And then ever since then, I've been pretty strongly following it. I love it. It's awesome. And I'm pretty sure we've already talked about when you started, Pete, but it was 17, right?
I mean, yeah, kinda. I mean,
didn't you find it through Minecraft? My
introduction is no more. It has no more dignity than yours does.
Yep.
Because I found it through a Minecraft server, this weird game which was based off this Mario Party minigame of all things called Mushroom Mix-Up.
Weird.
I'm not going to explain it because no one gives a shit about the
Yeah.
Minecraft minigame. But it was kind of, as well as that, it was kind of a music-based thing. And there was this actually really cool thing where you could connect your web browser to the server, and it would play the music at the same time. And there was quite a bit of Monster Cat stuff on there. The stuff I remember was, there was Sugar Rush on there. There was an astronaut song, I can't remember which one.
They're all the same.
16. There was Eclipse by Noise Storm.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there was Razor Sharp. What else do you expect?
Yeah.
And that was the
You
that
gotta
was
have
the
Razor
song.
Sharp.
That was the song that got me to go onto the channel, and that's exactly what I did. And I spent like a good month or so before I even considered the fact that there might be big albums, just listening to all the suggested songs on the sidebar, which meant I just listened to all the generically popular stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Razor Sharp and Till It's
Disconnected.
Over and
Yeah.
somehow
Basically,
I listened to
Pegboard
Flight.
Nerds and Tristan.
Somehow Flight didn't come up.
What?
All of my suggestions. Flight didn't come up.
Insane.
But one day, I'm just like, sure, let's check the channel. So I do that, and there's this little video that's the 17 album mix, the first one, because that album had literally just come out, and I listened to that, and I was like, oh my god, this is for me, and
Yeah.
I've been pretty heavily into it ever since, and I
Yep.
mean, intro bias is all fuck, but 17's still my favorite album.
Yeah.
So pretty much how I got into it.
And Xavier? It was just through Pete, right?
Yeah,
Again?
it was through you actually, Mika. Because I remember you came over to my house and
Oh,
we played
yeah.
Minecraft until like 3 in the morning. And you showed me Razor
All
Sharp.
these sad introductions.
Yeah, really. So you showed me Razor Sharp, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's alright. I downloaded it, and then Pete showed me some more, and then, yeah.
Didn't you listen to, you told me you listened to that Let's Be Friends one, what's it called? Manslaughter.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah,
didn't you show
yeah.
me
Well,
that
I didn't
one?
like it
You
at
liked
first.
it?
I didn't like it at first.
Manslaughter's so good. Yeah. So that's all cool, and I was thinking the first bit we get into would be because Pete has to leave a bit early because of various annoying things relating to his PS4 being broken.
We can get right into the news.
Yeah, right into the news. So Pete, tell us what's going on.
I can take us through this news segment. There
Awesome.
is 5 items on the list today. First of which probably being the most significant, which is an EP announcement from Direct called
A
the Trust Me
baker's
EP.
dozen. Go on.
Good job. In jokes that no one will get. I was gonna do that
Yep.
too, but no one's gonna get it. So, but
No, go on.
but it's gonna be up for pre-order on September 13th, and it's a 5-track EP because it was on the
boy.
album art on the side of it. It listed all the tracks, but that's pretty much all we know. But I think we
Yeah.
all know what genre directs what all those
heavy
songs are gonna be.
heavy
considering
drum
it's
and
coming
bass.
from. Yes,
Yes.
obviously.
All gonna be
And-
collabs with Muzzy and Drop Tech.
Yes. And item number 2 is that for some reason Monstercat-28 is still not on iTunes or Spotify. It's been out
Jeez.
for like
Boys.
a week now, and it's on neither of those. Basically, if you want to listen to it on Spotify, Monstercat is so aware of it that there is an official playlist of 28 that they have there in the meantime.
Yeah.
While they're waiting to get it up. I assume there's some technical reason that they couldn't do it if they're that aware of it, but hopefully it'll be up soon. 2 more things. New Glacier this Wednesday. It's not specified if it's going to be on Monstercat.
You liked the
or not.
last one, didn't you?
Oh, well, you know, only my favourite track of 28. But,
Yep.
yeah, new
It's good.
Glacier this Wednesday. It was not specified. This was from a tweet, and it wasn't specified if this was going to be on Monstercat or not. But it doesn't matter either way. Music is music. It doesn't matter what
It
label
is,
it's on.
and Glacier's a hot boy.
Yes. And new San Holo this week. Once again,
Awesome.
not specified if on Monstercat or not.
Hopefully
and the last
he can
thing that
make good music.
yes. And the last thing I found that was pretty interesting was I saw a little Reddit thread, which was a Facebook post from Razihel, which is that apparently he's one of these artists. He's part of an artist group called Streaks, which probably doesn't mean much to anyone, but I looked into that, and they're one of the people that remixed Alone. So,
Oh,
you know,
yay.
just out of nowhere, he's like, "Hey, I'm part of this thing," and it was really strange because I saw this post, and apparently that someone translated it, but it was all in Italian, or I think it was Italian. It was the entire post was in Italian.
Wow.
So someone just had to translate it, but that's basically the news for this week. It's not been too much, apart from new artists like Coven and Super Andreas, which is cool.
Looks like we won't have a double upload today, guys.
Yeah. I think all three of us can be very excited for Direct.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's, oh god, Lark, so good.
Yes.
Like his recent stuff.
Not as much of
really
a fan
good.
as his really early stuff, but
I reckon
14 onwards.
Essence was where it got good, where it started getting
Yes.
really good in my mind.
Essence is fucking great.
Parallax is still my favorite though.
Oh, Parallax is a just beautiful track. Yeah, but that's good. Thanks for getting all that news for us, man. That's
Also, there's a couple of other shit that I found when I was looking around on Reddit that I'm not sure would constitute as news, but it's just interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There was a little Reddit post that someone did where they pointed out that apparently on iTunes, Rat Twist by Pixel is listed as explicit.
What?
I can't figure out for the life of me
Apparently
why
every
this
single
is,
song at 16
but-
is listed as explicit.
Really?
Including
Well, it's
Rainbow
probably
Road.
because. Well, it's probably because if you're listening to that if you listen to the album, you'd have to listen to State of Mind. And maybe they're just putting a warning there.
Not appropriate for you. Here we go with more bias against Hard Dance that everyone seems to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that song's just shit.
And one of the releases this week, Silence by Coven, was one of the mystery tracks on the podcast. But there was another one. There was another mystery track on this week's 28 release edition of the Monstercat-Podcast, which I'm 100%. I'm not going to say 100% because I might be wrong and I'm going to look like an idiot. But I'm almost 100% sure that it's Hush. Because it's so weird and
Is it future based?
it's a lot more. It sounds future based. It really does. Have you?
Does it have trap?
Neither of you two have heard it.
No.
No.
No. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Hush. Which I didn't put that under news for being Hush because that's just my guess. But God, I hope it is.
Yeah, for sure. Hush is really cool.
Yeah.
With
So
Tentacle and Vonk.
Yeah, I don't know. Damn Cream's still my favorite personally.
Yeah, that's a cool song.
So good. Alright, so that's the news for this week. Not a
Awesome.
lot. I didn't go through the entire week. Tried to get all my notes quickly. But
Yeah.
that'll do the job. Hey, we got a Direct EP. That's all the news we need.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very excited for that. Very, very excited. So the next segment we're gonna just chat about the tracks that have come out this week, and unfortunately this week it's only been 2. We've had Over You by Supandrius, maybe? I don't know. And Silence by Coven. So I reckon...
new artists is interesting. I hadn't really thought about that, but both new artists. It seems like I know this is a bit of a sidetrack to go down already, but it seems like
cool.
Monstercat has been really going with new artists lately. Which I don't know how to feel about it, but it's interesting.
It's weird. So, alright, so when do you reckon was the album when they started? I reckon it was 2027 that they started getting a whole bunch of new people in.
Yeah.
Let's have a look, right? So we'll go over to 27, if I can make Spotify work. Monstercat. Right, there we go. So that album we had, I'm not sure if Nightmare counts because that was in Superstar, but we had Marshmallow, yay. We had Unlike Pluto. We had Slushy. We had, I don't know if Mika counts from Slips and Slurs, the Wi-Fi Tears, because that's just vocals, right? We had, was Conroe new then?
Conroe was on 26, I think.
Conroe was...
That's right. But he's still one of the recent artists.
Yeah, and Hush
we had
as well.
Milano was from the album beforehand.
Hush.
We had...
Oh, no, Hush was 26 as well.
Yep, Hush. No Taker. What else? Stephen Walking isn't too new. Yeah, more Milano, Conroe. Yeah, so a bunch of new tracks there. What about 28?
28,
So yeah,
there was... I would count Snails as introduction.
Oh, yep.
I would count Snails
Hopefully,
as introduction.
hopefully he
Anevo.
comes back.
There was a bunch on this
Yep.
one as well. There was Anevo, there was Tokyo Machine, there was Topi, there was Candyland.
Nah, it was the best song. You're wrong.
And Glacier. So that's like another 6 artists just from one album. Some of which I'm happy to see, some of which I'm not. But, you know.
Yeah, I'm both happy about that and worried. Because, I like most of the new artists. Most of them are cool and they bring a lot to Monstercat, and I like that. But I also worry that it might drown out the whole sort of feeling of community that it had, just because, you know, you knew everyone. Like, back in, I don't know, when would it have been? Back in probably 17 to 14 would have been the time when it had, like, lots of these artists that had been there for a while and established their place in Monstercat. And I don't know, but it's definitely interesting, and I'm definitely excited to see what new people bring, because especially with people like Coven and Marshmallow, who are actually pretty big outside of outside of Monstercat.
Alone has gotten so many views already.
Yeah, and that's because it's a great song.
Can you not make it, please?
It's
You are so
good.
unimaginably biased against that song.
I am. But anyway, onto the first track released this week. We had Over You by Supandrius. If anyone can tell me how to actually pronounce that, feel free to tell me.
Got shit
but
vocals. That's
the vocals I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. They're just sort of a bit.
They're very future-based vocals.
Moany. Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah. It's...
Well, part of what I liked about Future Bass at the start is it felt like a lot of it just didn't have vocals.
Yeah.
At all. Like you think about all the first ones, like Reach did.
Yeah, like all of Graham Bowtie's stuff.
Hasbro, Kaleidoscope had vocal chops, but that's not.
But
really
they were
the same
great.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not really the same kind of thing. So.
Oh, Kaleidoscope is so good.
It is.
It was a great song. But yeah, Xavier, I'm gonna assume that you're not the biggest fan of the song because you're not a Future Bass lover.
You probably should have pointed that out when you were talking about the stuff you didn't.
Oh yeah, I don't like Future Bass. Yeah, it's way too mellow. It's like.
Except,
Ugh.
I feel like you've got more exceptions to Future Bass that you like than you do to indie dance.
Well, you like Pilot, don't you? But
Pilot's not really indie dance though. Yeah.
Pilot is not indie dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is one of the.
It's just Monstercat's like, I don't know what to do.
Monstercat.
It's got cool synth noises in the second drop. But other than that, I really don't like it.
What?
Super Engineer, no, the fucking
right,
soup song.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, the soup song. I reckon it's pretty cool. The drop is good. It's got those. It's got the first one has those smooth Future Bass sounds, and also has
I don't like those.
faster things going on in between them. I don't know what to call them. Just faster. They're cool. But it pretty much does like the same thing for like.
Yeah, it's got like
45
its
seconds.
2 parts. It's got the like descending at the start, and then it's got the little bit of the melody, but that's pretty much. That's what it does, and then it sticks with that. It's cool for a little bit, but it's quite repetitive. And, you know, normally when something's quite repetitive, you're looking forward to it being over so you can hear something different. But then it just goes back to the bad vocals that aren't good.
Yeah.
So that means the gap between, like, enjoyment between after you've stopped enjoying the first drop and to the second drop is quite big. So you have to listen to a lot of stuff that you don't really want to listen to. So it's good. I still think the drop's really good, and it's a pretty good song, but it's nothing mind-blowing, and I don't think anyone's going to argue with me there. It's nothing super
Well,
special.
through listening to a lot of EDM, I've learnt to get used to shitty vocals, so I can get through most songs with bad vocals pretty easy. It's for me in those sort of songs, it's all about the drop, and the drop in this song is repetitive, but it's good. Like, all the elements of it I like. And then the second drop is pretty cool as well. It changes the smooth future-based sound, which I'm going to assume is the bit you don't like in a lot of future-based, Xavier.
Yeah.
That smooth bass. And it changes that for the synthy melody thing, which is really cool. And that changed it up. Because I wasn't expecting the song to have a second drop, because it had your vocals in your intro, and then you had your build up, your drop, and then you had the same vocals in the middle, and so I was going to be like, alright, he's just going to repeat it again. But the second drop is different. That's always what you want. That's good. And so, yeah, I definitely thought it was a good track. Not a great track, but a good track. And
I still don't think it's I think the first song of 29 could have been a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Could have been.
It's like you said, it's not outstanding.
It's kind of just there.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not going to be, when I think of highlights of 29, I'm not going to be thinking this one, but I doubt I'd skip it if it came on. But yeah,
definitely not. I'd listen to it. But, you know,
yeah, that's Over You by Supandrius. The next one was Silence by Coven. Yeah, and I was real excited to hear this one because I like Coven a lot. I've heard a lot of his stuff. By a lot of his stuff, I mean 4 tracks. On Spotify, I have a bunch of his tracks in my playlist, and he makes really cool melodic dubstep. It's always real dramatic and stuff, and he always has the same vocalist. I don't know if it's his wife or his sister or something, but they're always...
that's interesting. I looked into that, and I just saw it through their profile picture and stuff. It is. I'm pretty sure it is the two of them. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure the artist Coven is
2 people. Is
the dude and his wife. I'm not sure. Well, that might not be the case. I can't assume what their relationship is. But and I don't want to assume who does what. But it seems like he might do most of the production stuff, and she would provide the vocals and all that kind of stuff. Once again, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't look too deep into that kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely the vocalist is definitely part of Coven.
Yeah. And in some of I didn't like her too much in this one, but in some of the other tracks, she's actually really good. But yeah, they always have a cool, dramatic, melodic dubstep sound. It's always very sort of climactic and loud and bombastic. But it's cool, and I like that. And so I was pretty excited to see what this track had to offer. Unfortunately, it wasn't melodic dubstep, which I'm sure wasn't a bad thing for you two, but for me, I like melodic dubstep quite a bit. But it did still have that feel, sort of. It was still dramatic, it was still loud, and I like that. But like we said, the vocals, pretty bad, except for, I know Pete
really
doesn't agree with me on this. You reckon?
Yeah, they're like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're just kind of, they feel quiet.
About that.
Yeah. Yeah, most of them are bad, except for the dramatic bit towards the build-up. I like that quite a bit. They're decent. But, yeah, it drops, and the drop is really good.
It's got a very electro housey. It's got a very
that was my first thought when I heard it.
I'm surprised they didn't put it under electro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why did they put it under?
Once again, I don't know if it's me not understanding.
It's just under electronic.
Under electronic. It's not actually under anything.
That's Monstercat for you.
Like, I can't tell if I'm just dumb and I don't know what I'm talking about, or if it's just Monstercat's mislabeling doing a thing, or if they just had a meltdown and couldn't decide what they wanted to put it under.
Yeah.
So they just didn't do anything. I saw some people in, like, Reddit comments saying it was, like, glitch hop, and I was like...
What?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Apparently it's the right BPM for glitch hop, but, like... Ugh.
That's something that's always confused me. Why is glitch hop / 140 BPM? That always seems strange to me, because... Oh, 110, sorry. Because glitch hop to me always seems like a genre that is very, like, defined by its sound. And if you made a song that was 110 BPM, but sounded nothing like glitch hop, it would still be under the glitch hop genre on Monstercat. That always seemed very strange to me. But no, back to the song. Like you were saying, it does have that electro house feel. Because it's definitely got that drive to it. It's quite complex, I reckon, in the drum. It's got a fair few layers. It's got a bunch of it's got quite a good drum pattern as well. I was noticing it was on quite a long loop, so it wasn't being repeated too many times, and it had some interesting percussion sounds that weren't just your normal kick thing.
It gives me the same kind of dramatic feel at the start of the drop that oh god, what's that song? Stick Up gave me at the start of the drop. Like seriously, it actually gives me a really similar really
I can
dramatic, electro housey kind of feel to it, which is a good thing because the drop of Stick Up is something I like very much. I don't like the vocals, but the drop is very good. But I agree. The drop is really cool, and the dramatic feeling is really, really cool. Yeah. But I think it's a little too repetitive after a while, and it kind of starts to wear on me.
Yeah,
by the end,
it can, because it does go for like a minute and a bit.
Yeah, because I think that's just something to do with the dramatic feeling it's going for in general. Like, if you don't keep things weird and interesting, then it kind of stops feeling dramatic. Like, you cannot have, of all the things that you don't want to sound boring, you don't want something dramatic to sound boring. Yeah. That's like you can't get that feel
You
wrong.
need to have, for a great dramatic song, you need to have it so that you have bits which are much more and though the song does do this where it has downtime bits between each of the drops, it needs to have little bits of the drop which change the feel, maybe if it's just for a second. Like a song which, like the best example of a song that does this in my mind is Endgame by Muzzy. The way that song sounds at the end, so climactic and so dramatic and so impactful, is because it has that section in the middle where it just completely quiets down. There's like birds chirping, there's just peaceful music and the shit, and that's really, really cool. And even if it's not on that scale, because that song is really long and has a lot going on in it, a lot of
that
changes.
Song does have a lot more time to
but like even if it's just that, an example of this being done quicker would be, even though I wouldn't say it's an outstanding song, what it did really well, Atlas by Faint on 1, was it basically had your heavy Faint style DMB drop, right? The sort of reminiscent of Snake Eyes or what's it, Fury, I think it's called, right? And then it would do that. It did that for like 20 seconds, and then had like another 15 seconds of this chill DMB type thing, and then it went back to doing that. And the second time over, it sounded more important, and it sounded better because it contrasted against what you'd heard earlier. And that's, I reckon, the best way to make dramatic music is to make it contrast so that it sounds bigger than it is.
Yeah, but and also this song's got the problem of the drop starts to wear on you after a while. Yeah. And the second drop is very similar. Like, I'm pretty sure the only difference I could notice, this might not be right, but the only difference I could really notice is vocal inclusion in the background. Yeah. Which, considering I don't like the vocals, doesn't help, because, like, I can see how it would help for some people to add to that dramatic feel, because some cool background vocals can really add to that kind of thing, but I don't like
Varian does that well.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't like the vocals, so it only serves as a bad thing for the rest of the song. So, but I really do like, if there's one thing I really like, is if you were to listen to the first 10 seconds or like the first 30 seconds of the song, I don't think you'd be able to predict what the drop would sound like. Yeah. Because it kind of starts off with this normal, like, kind of happy, normal, not really like overly happy or anything, but just kind of stock standard, interesting little intro, which is cool before the vocals come in. You know, then the vocals come in, but it's not till like 10 seconds before the drop, before it starts to get dramatic and shows what its true colours is. And I do think that helps. I do think that helps with the dramatic feel, because that is contrast. That is the contrast that you're talking about. That it starts off normal and happy with vocals, and then it slowly starts to get a bit darker and goes all dramatic. And I think that serves the feeling of sounding dramatic really well. So I think really, that's a plus for me.
For sure. I I was listening to the drop and I was trying to identify all the layers of what was going on, and it was very complex. It's very layered. It'd be interesting to see them go through sort of how, I'm not sure if any of the listeners will have seen the Rich was it Rich Edwards, the
Yes.
video where he
Yeah.
he had a video on his channel where he basically went through a song and just went through every layer of the drop and the vocals and the breakdowns and build-ups and all that. And it was really interesting to see, and that was quite a simple song comparatively to this. It'd be so cool to see how this song, because it has so many, you can hear bass lines, you can hear guitars, you can hear basses, you can hear melodies, you can hear all this stuff in the drop. And it really has a lot going on, and I respect that a lot from artists. That's always really cool.
Xavier, you've said almost nothing throughout
Yeah.
the discussion of this song. You got to tell us what you think.
It has no drums at the start of the second drop, and that's cool. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That's my entire opinion on the song.
So do you like it?
It's alright, the vocals are the drops, I don't like how it repeats though, and that's it.
Once again, I'm
Very concise.
I'm gonna give my opinion, and I predict that I don't know if anyone's gonna argue with me. I think this one's better than the Soup Andreas one
Yeah.
for this week.
Neither of them are, flagship tracks,
I mean,
I'd say. None of them
I
are
think-
blowing the doors
I
off.
think if I was gonna be thinking like rating wise, I'd probably give like the Soup Andreas one like a 6 out of 10, and the
Yeah.
Coven one a 7.
Yeah.
So neither of them are like stand out, but I still think the Coven one's a lot more enjoyable than this.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I that's probably where I'd put it in fucking 25 years when I get up to this album. That's probably where it'll be sitting at. But yeah, so that any last thoughts, or is that about it?
That's about it, I think.
I reckon that's about it for those
Yeah.
2 tracks.
Awesome. So the last little bit that we're going to be doing is, I just thought it'd be fun to finish the podcast off with a little track, a little bit that I'm going to call track of the day, probably, where I'm just going to go to a random number generator. I'll do that now. RNG.
Well, actually, why don't you do the album and I'll do the song?
Yeah.
Just
Alright,
we
so
get
basically
different
what we're going to
things
do is we're
happening.
going to go to an RNG number generator, and I'm going to go put between 0 and 28 to find the album, and Pete's going to put between... between 1 and 28. And Pete's going to put between 1 and 30, just to pick a random track from a random album.
Or 1 to...
And
Just talk
right,
about it.
Or
from
1
19.
to 15 if it's like one of the
From
first
19.
albums, or 1 to 20 if it's like 5 through to 11,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The album's
true.
19.
or 1 through to 7.
The album's 19.
Oh, that's my
Well, then that is
favourite
1
one.
to 30.
Let's hope we don't
Yeah.
get 30.
Could be
Alright, let's
Mariah
see
Sakai.
what number. Let's see what number we get. Alright, I've gotten the number, and I'm not going to tell you what number it is. I'm just going to get the song, and I'll tell you what the song is.
Awesome. Where else is it going to
Let me
be?
Just
find
not
the
anime
album
band,
now.
please.
What is it going to be? Something good? Well, no, it's the best one.
Just
I don't
tell
know
me
what
the
you're
number.
talking about.
Oh, God, what is
Tell me
it?
the number.
Oh. It's Boundless by Error.
Oh,
That's
sick!
the track for this
Little
week.
too
Boundless
short.
by Error.
It's a good song.
Yeah, that song is cool. It's
It was like the first trap song to have the trap
it's
colour.
not Aerochord's best. Yeah, it was actually.
Or was it Insignia?
I mean, it is a really good song, and I enjoy it. But I feel like, considering that was the track that came after Surface, I
Yeah.
feel like a bit more could have been done with it. Because I don't think anyone's gonna argue with me when I say it's pretty like generic trap. Not to say
Oh,
that
yeah,
it's not
for
sure.
good, but it's quite generic, and I don't think Surface is. Surface is another song that, yet again, is very dramatic and has an awesome feel to it. And don't get me wrong, Boundless is really good and I enjoy it, but I don't think, as a contrast to Surface being the thing that comes after it,
Yeah.
I don't know. To be fair, I don't know if anything could have lived up to that.
Yeah.
But
Surface
I
won
don't think that was the
awards.
one.
That song, that is just one of the best songs. Like, it's not one of my favorite songs because I've heard it a lot of times and I'm a bit sick of it. But just from an originality and music production perspective, that song is incredible.
Alright,
And Eric should be very proud.
I want you guys to guess how many Spotify plays this song has, because I'm looking at this
Boundless?
through Spotify. Yeah, Boundless.
A lot.
I'm gonna say 265,000.
Alright. What are you say?
2.
5,000,000.
What?
800,077 600.
5 million.
I know. I did not
Jeez.
expect that. I did not expect that. That's why I asked you to guess, because I looked at it and I'm like, Jesus, I think that might be the most listened to of the album. Let me just look through all the other. Let me look through all the other tracks. There's a lot of them that are sit at 1 million.
Against the
Emergency
Sun
has
probably has a
almost
lot.
4 million.
Because Against the Sun has like a few million on YouTube.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Let me see. Where is Against the Sun?
Ooh,
No. It does have 5,600,000, but Boundless still beats it out.
Damn.
I did not predict that, but that's the most listened to song on Spotify of 19.
Yeah, it's generic
what I
enough
expected to
for
see.
people to use in their like skater montages. I don't know.
What other songs are above 1 million? Anime Bay, best song of Monstercat, is above 1 million, 1.2 million. Hot Pursuit is 1.05 million.
It's a good one.
Yeah, stay down there, Hot
Emergencies-
Pursuit.
Emergency is like the next best thing on the list. It's still a couple million difference, but it's 3.9 mil.
3.9. Yep.
Which is pretty good.
Emergencies by the Pegmod nerds, so it's gonna have a lot of listens.
Jesus, the Mariah Sakai song only has 181,000.
Yeah, it's because it's interesting and quirky,
It's
different.
unique. We can't have
Yeah.
that. Oh my
No!
god, Error Code's so close to a million.
Error Code is a good song. That's probably my favorite
It's-
song on the album.
Maybe.
Because that was in my top 5 Monstercat tracks for quite a while.
Interstellar has 1.3 million.
Interstellar's a hottie.
Triumph has 1 million.
Oh, that song is so good.
Yeah. Yes, Sentinel does. Sentinel has 1.4. I love that song a lot. I didn't even realize till recently how much I love that song.
It's okay.
Oh, that's a pleasant surprise. Kaleidoscope has 1.4.
Good. That song deserves it.
No,
for sure.
sorry. I said Emergency was the next behind those other two. It's actually Snowblind with 3.9.
Oh, yeah. Snowblind was popular.
Turnaround has
That's a gross
1.5,
song.
but you know, it sucks. It is.
Yeah, it's alright.
And Bad Boy has 2.9.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah, I didn't realize that a lot of songs on that album have a lot of plays.
Yeah. So, yeah. Boundless is a cool song. Boundless
It
is...
is.
Cool,
Sorry, I
but-
took us off on a bit of a
Bit of a
No,
tangent.
it's fine, it's fine.
number statistics
Yeah,
tangent.
took me
That's
off
how
your
podcasts
view.
work. That is how podcasts
sure.
work. I'm sorry. You've got to learn to accept that tangents happen.
They do. It is true. But yeah, I like that track. It's sort of, as far as error code goes, middling. It's probably around about as good as B3. Would be around about as good as Boundless. But
I reckon Boundless is a lot.
Yeah, B3 is gross.
B3.
I think you and...
that vocal chop does sort of ruin it.
Can you not reenact it, please?
Yeah, it's really it's interesting though because I listen to the song, and everything that's not the vocal chop is actually so cool and so intense.
It is,
and I
yeah.
didn't realize how awesome it was, but at the same time, the rest of the song's just a bit. It's mostly just the vocal chop.
Yeah.
And I was quite hyped to see Claypex release something on Monstercat as well. But
Yeah, Claypex is quite interesting.
I think it was the hype of that kind of made my expectations a little too high. Even though they've made a lot of music that I don't like very much, there was some stuff that I thought was really cool. But
yeah.
And I thought something with Error Chord would be good. But
What was that?
Speaking of Error Chord, there's been a lot of word. There's been a lot of word about an error.
There's been word about a Surface VIP.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
I mean, once again, I don't know if there's any way to live up.
I don't know, just
Surface,
add
yeah.
a second drop and make it longer.
I don't if he does what like Divided did with the VIP and just like speeds it up. I might prefer it.
I still like the original Divided better, but you know, that's another discussion for another
Yeah.
But yeah, Error Chord. I can't remember if anyone really was. Can't remember if he said it was going to be on Monstercat, but there's been word of it for quite some time, and I really, really like that. I mean, if this album could have some more EPs, that'd be nice, because discluding, like, remix EPs and stuff on this album, on 28, we had 2.
Damn.
We had the Eminence one, and the Project 46 one.
Project 46 made an EP?
Yeah.
Which, compared to a lot of compared to albums like 26, which had 2 LPs.
I didn't even know Project 46
That
had an
was
EP.
crazy.
So.
Yeah, Project 46 is just forgettable.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
Sometimes.
A lot of their earlier stuff is actually...
In a Box is amazing.
That's tech.
Shit. House is all the same.
Fix it in post. Get rid of it. Get rid of these mistakes. Fix it in post.
No.
It's
They can hear me for what I really am. Oh, thanks, Xavier. Nice input. But yeah, so I think that's us running out both of time and content. So thank you to everyone that's listening.
Doesn't help when there's one less release than there always.
Yeah, true. Next week it'll probably be a bit longer, might be closer to an hour, just because there'll be more tracks released, and Pete won't have to rush off in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect. For me personally, it's perfect timing. But, you know,
yeah.
How long have we been going for? 40 minutes. You know, that's not too bad. That's about as long as your review of one for a podcast.
Yeah.
Formatic show that's supposed to last about an hour
fine,
to 2 hours. It's
Don't
about
worry.
the same length as
There's
your review
nothing
for
to
one
worry
I
hour.
about.
completely forgot I even had Audacity.
Alright. Oh, well,
You're spoiling.
Yeah,
you're
you
spoiling
spoil
how
what
our
we
sick
use.
editing
The
trick.
You can just
The
edit it
listeners
out
already
and
know.
post it. It's easy.
Yeah.
No, mate, you don't know how lazy I am. Editing is hard. But yeah, so I'm not sure if there's anyone that actually listened to this, but if they did, thank you for listening. And
Hey,
it was
honestly, I feel like this is for us more than
yeah, no, it's fun to
It's not-
record.
It's nice to have conversations like this with a proper format to it. Honestly.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. So.
Yeah, because then we don't all start yelling at each other.
Oh, what about How Alone is?
Alone is the best track ever
apparently
released on
according to
Monstercat.
The best track on Monstercat.
It's funny
Yeah.
that it's not.
For sure.
I don't know. I feel like considering how popular it is, people are gonna.
Yeah,
I think
people might
Me
agree.
and Xavier are gonna be the ones that are hated
Yeah,
on for.
Even my grandpa likes it, so
for that.
screw you. Anyway, so
Oh,
yeah.
what a note to end on. Grandpa's been enjoyed. I don't think there should be anything else. Just leave it with that. Just leave it with that. Do the outro. That's all we need. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got some. I've got Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
from when I was
Oh,
a
Mika,
kid,
you
so-
should put our
Oh,
YouTube
yeah,
channels in
yeah.
the description. Because I have one with no videos on it.
Please.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll forget to. So thank you to everyone that was listening, and hopefully we'll be able to get one of these out most weeks, unless I don't know, we die or Australia's blown up.
You
Something
spoiled our
like that.
location, Mika.
Oh no! You spoiled where we're from. What the hell?
Oh
We're
yeah,
gonna get cyberbullied now. What the hell?
Yeah.
Someone's gonna come up to my house and cyberbully me. What the hell? Jeez.
yeah, better watch out. Okay, well, for the 27,000th time, I'm gonna try and wrap this up.
Hey,
So,
this is how
yep.
podcasts work. Just when you think you've run out of things to talk about, the tangents continue.
Yep. Yeah, I'm like Laura. I just gotta shut everyone up.
Oh my god. You can't keep making references to
podcasts
things
that no one listens to.
Except me and you. Jeez.
It's fine.
There'll
alright.
probably be one person that gets it, and they'll be like,
Yeah, but, oh my god, you listen to Podquisition too,
"Oh
mate.
my god, got him."
Alright, thanks you two for hopping on with me. It's been
Can I go
fun.
home now?
You're
Yeah,
not home right now.
No.
he's sitting in the middle of a oval.
Yeah, little. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, for better sound quality. No. Yeah. All right, we gotta go. Gotta end podcast and see.
No,
the-
please don't try and end it like this. Just try once more to end it properly.
Say something like,
and-
see you guys next week.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We're gonna see you next time.
I won't fucking kill you, mate.
No. All right.
So
All right. for the last time, thank you to the viewers who listened.
Thanks guys for coming out to Venice Beach here for some.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, just end the podcast for God's sake.
Alright. I'll see you guys next week if we get it done next week. And, yep.